Ms. Diener.
Dr. Walla, these policies that you most recently identified and acknowledged, those have effective dates of April 2022, so these policies would have been in place when Richard Allen was in Westville, correct?
Yes.
So to the extent that they comply with whatever came out of the lawsuit, the adjustments had already been made before he was there?
Yes.
With regard to your notes and your documenting, I believe in the deposition you said you would take notes and, in fact, if there was a particular note that you made that was a quotation. It appeared in your behavioral health suicide observation record in quotation marks. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is there any reason to think that you would have had something in a written note that you felt important enough to write down, that you did not then enter into the record-keeping system?
No.
So the destroying of your notes was destroying a duplicate?
Yes.
And you said that you felt like it was not a good idea, in your testimony, to have it floating around. Is that correct?
Yes.
So by putting it into the system, what do we call that system?
Electronic medical system or record.
By putting it in there, it was more protected than a piece of paper that you might put in a locked file cabinet in your office. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you have a locked file cabinet in your office?
No.
You're expected to use the electronic case system for medical records, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And did you prepare your behavioral health suicide observation records from your daily visits with M.R. Allen the same day that you visited with him?
Typically, yes.
On occasion, there might be an addendum you would do on a different day. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. You've made reference to a consent for treatment and limits for confidentiality in your testimony and the belief that Dr. Primo. Is that how?
Yes.
That's spelled P-R-I-M-E-U.
Yes.
At RDC would have gone through those.
Yes.
With Mr. Allen? And then, what would have been the limitations on you going through that with him again?
I may have done it. I just don't remember.
Is there any reason there would be the document printed with your name and a date, but no signature from Mr. Allen? Would he do an electronic signature, or how would you do that?
Can I see it?
May I approach the witness, Judge?
You may.
I'll show you what's marked as Exhibit 9. It's a 2-page exhibit. Can you identify those?
So this is the one that was signed at RDC with Dr. Primo. Okay, so this one, I did go over it with him. This would be something that you'd find in his paper chart, and this is the one they have us generate in our system, just to kind of place the date of when we would have collected it, so there really should be another actual one with my signature somewhere.
But for clarification, the front page is the one with Dr. Primo at RDC?
Yes.
And it is signed?
Yes. And then, this one was on November 8th by me, so that's the date I would have talked to him about it and likely put some note in.
His file?
Possibly another intake.
So seeing this document caused you to believe that you went through it with him on the 8th of November?
Yes.
Move to admit Exhibit 9. States Exhibit 9 offered.
No objection.
All right. Without objection, 9 is admitted. States Exhibit 9 admitted.
I'd like to show you what's marked as States Exhibit 10. It's several pages. It's one of your reports from November 10th. I'll give you a chance to look at that. You done reading that?
Yes.
Okay. And on November 10th, did you talk with Mr. Allen about disclosing facts about his case? In the middle of the paragraph?
Yeah, I see it.
This writer recommends he not speak about his case to anyone except his attorney, but made it clear it was appropriate to accept help with coping with the mental health symptoms he is experiencing as a result of his circumstances, correct?
Yes.
So that's your role, correct? To help him with his mental health.
Yes.
And his circumstances? State would move to admit Exhibit 10. State's Exhibit 10 offered.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right. Without objection, 10 is admitted. States Exhibit 10 admitted.
So you don't need to know about the details of his case to offer him mental health services, correct?
No. Correct.
So would it follow that you would not ask him about the circumstances of his crime, whether he committed it, if he did, what the details were?
No.
Okay. Now, there were lots of questions early on about the conditions of his confinement and the small space that he had to move around in. You're familiar with it, correct?
Yes.
And is it correct that, early on, Mr. Allen made the best of things and he would exercise in his room? He was reading, he was walking around his room for exercise, correct?
Yes.
Taking care of his daily. I'm not sure what ADL stands for.
Activities of daily living, so just bathing, brushing your teeth, keeping yourself clean, eating.
And those are things that you, as one of his providers, would watch to determine his needs, correct?
As much as I could.
Okay. Well, you were there daily most of his stay, correct?
Yes.
Except for weekends?
Right.
Did he also have someone either from mental health or from staff, custodial staff that would meet, or stop by and see him twice a day? It was on a restricted housing unit log?
Right. So it just depended on where he was at. If he was on suicide watch, obviously he's already getting daily visits, so there wouldn't be extra visits on top of that. If he wasn't on suicide watch, then yes, someone would come and see him.
Every day?
At one point, it wasn't every day anymore, when he was completely off of it, but at least weekly.
Okay. During the time from
About
March to July?
It was more like December to beginning of April is when he wasn't on suicide watch, so.
Okay.
We didn't have all the extra stuff going on.
Okay. So that was an extra added when you felt he needed it?
Yes.
Okay. There is a note from early on in his time at Westville, November 3rd, that indicates that Dr. Primo gave the mental health order for constant suicide watch due to high-profile nature. Is that what you're familiar with as far as his restrictions?
Right. So that's how he came to us. He was at RDC for one day, I believe. She provided those orders and he arrived with those orders.
So would constant watch account for all of the supervision while he was being moved, is that correct?
And, it's constant suicide watch that we implemented.
Okay. And that was for his safety, correct?
Yes.
And when he arrived at Westville, it appears that you also did a bit of an intake with him, asking about his history, his employment, his education. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what do you recall about Mr. Allen's background?
Married, has a daughter, worked at CVS, usually held managerial positions, made good financial decisions. He told me he owned his house, had 2 cars.
Okay. And when he was initially on the unit, he did not. Well, he always had a suicide companion. Is that correct?
He did.
Okay. And you said you had some problems or frustrations with the inmate companions. And what, specifically, did you have an issue with?
At what point in time?
Well, the inmate companions were only there for the first few months, correct?
No, they were there the whole time. So on our end, for suicide watch we used them for the first month, but even after that was discontinued, administrative staff kept them on to just be there.
Okay.
In terms of problems, as was previously mentioned, I think some of THM were spreading information to their families.
We don't know what that information is, do we?
Not necessarily, no.
I mean it.
I do know how much specific it could be aside from, this guy's here,
Right. We certainly don't know if it was details about his case.
Right.
You don't have any reason to know that?
No.
We've heard testimony that suicide companions are instructed not to engage with Mr. Allen. Would you agree that that is expected?
It is.
And when it's changed to officers, did you see issue S with officers, that they would engage, and if so, what does that mean?
Well, that is outside of my control. We can't stand and watch them, all hours of day and night, so.
Did you ever see them engage?
Not more than normal. I mean, sometimes they'd be delivering a tray of food or nothing out of the ordinary.
So when I say did they engage, if they say, Mr. Allen, here's your food tray.
Right.
Is that engaging?
Well, it is.
Okay.
But
that's not a violation, is it?
no.
Okay. They need him to come get his tray?
Yes.
Okay. If they come for medication delivery, that's engaging, but it's not necessarily detrimental or against the rules, is it?
No.
And when you would arrive on the unit, would you review? It seems that you make reference to reviewing suicide companions.
Yes.
Notes to inform yourself about how he's doing.
Yes.
Did you rely on that information to some extent?
To some extent.
You're aware that suicide companions were documenting?
Yes.
You would see those when you came on the unit?
Yes.
And did you ever see a situation where an officer companion or inmate companion was engaging with Mr. Allen in an inappropriate way in order to solicit a statement?
I didn't witness that.
You talked about, in response to questions, receiving an inquiry about someone associated with ISP wanting to talk to Mr. Allen. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Was it your understanding they wanted to talk to Mr. Allen or to you?
I think to me.
And so you asked Mr. Allen if it was okay for you to talk to them if they had questions about him, correct?
Right.
Okay. And you didn't know where this person was from. They didn't contact you directly, did they?
No.
And so where did you get your information from?
I honestly don't have too much memory of that. Someone must have passed them along to me and I thought it was strange and I asked what I should do. And I'm assuming they just said to go ask him if he wants me to talk to this person.
Okay.
But I think when he said no, I agreed and that I shouldn't.
And IT was actually someone by the last name of Goldberg, you said. Goldenberg, and your document indicates that it's a forensic psychologist, correct?
Yes.
Do you recall that?
Yes.
So it could have just been to have a conversation on a professional level?
And, obviously, still inappropriate, so.
And you didn't do it?
Right.
You were asked about the out-of-cell cubicle where sessions occur.
Yes.
It was referred to as a cage. Is that what you call it?
Yes.
Okay. Is that what inmates call it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Some of them might.
Is it? And you said it was the same as there is at Wabash Valley Correctional Unit?
It's not the same.
Oh, I thought you said it was the same. What's different?
This is basically a room. It is triangular shaped, and as opposed to having two individuals sitting on stools real close together at a small table, they put a.
And which one has the gate?
The incarcerated individual goes inside the gate and they lock them in there.
But which facility has the gate, Westville or?
Oh, Westville does.
Okay.
The one at Wabash was some other. It was just this structure that was just standing and I didn't use that one when I was there with him, but I've never seen one like that.
Okay. It was a freestanding.
Yeah.
Room? And did it provide you privacy to talk with Mr. Allen? The facility at Westville when you were his treating?
Yes.
Psychologist?
Yes.
I just want to touch on this, even though it seems out of context, but for the purposes of the statute we're addressing today, are you a certified psychologist with the state of Indiana?
Licensed.
Licensed?
Yes.
Before the beginning of April, when Mr. Allen got his legal documents, Would you consider him to have been stable at that point?
Relatively stable, at his baseline, at least. I mean, obviously, he was depressed and unhappy about being there, but not much beyond that.
He was eating?
Yes.
Was he taking his meds?
Yes.
Was he taking care of himself?
Yes.
Was he exercising?
Yes.
Was he reading?
Yes.
Using rec and shower?
There were always discrepancies, because he refused those, so I couldn't tell you how many times, but he would go out at times.
When you saw him, he was clean.
Yeah.
Okay. He was able to carry on a conversation?
Yes.
And so his baseline is depressed and anxious. Would you agree?
I'd say so.
Well, you saw him very, very frequently for a whole year, so I guess ID.
Yes.
On April 3rd or 4th of 2023, he received his legal documents. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And would you say it was a large volume of documents?
That's what I was told.
Oh, you did not see them?
I didn't.
Okay. I'm not saying did you see the content of them. Did you?
I didn't see anything.
Okay. Oftentimes, you went to his door to speak with him, to see if he would want to come out for a session?
Yes.
Would you use that opportunity to observe whether he was taking care of his daily living?
Yes.
And on the 4th of April, his circumstances changed significantly. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you made notes about your observations with regard to what was different about him and about recent events. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And what do you recall about it?
My understanding is that he was presenting bizarrely, his thought process.
Did you also note that he had just had 2 visits from his counsel, his attorneys, so you felt that that contributed to what was happening with him, at least potentially?
I think we believed that at the site, that it may have caused it, because it was a major event that happened just prior to the change.
And so the bizarre behavior resulted in him going back on suicide constant watch. Is that correct?
Yes.
Your report from that day also indicates that, on that same date, he had stared confessing to other staff?
Yes.
And you documented those things in your notes as well?
The quotes were from the companions, the logs.
I'll show you Exhibit 11, your inaudible?
Yes.
State would move to admit Exhibit 11. State's Exhibit 11 offered.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
All right. Without objection, 11 is admitted. State's Exhibit 11 admitted.
Prior to April 4th, did Mr. Allen also share with you that he had found God?
I don't know when he started talking about God, although, at our initial.
I'd next show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 12, your document from April 5th. You have a chance to review it?
Yes.
Okay. On April 5th, you have some quotations under patient complaint, and I guess, for the court's knowledge, I'd like to talk about the nature of the report. The report always starts with a paragraph at the beginning about the last change in his status. Is that correct? The first paragraph references back to April 4th?
Right, the reason for placement.
Okay. And then, patient complaint is where you document the statements or conversations or clinical impressions that come from a particular date of the report. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And this was an out-of-cell session, so there would have been confidentially for Mr. Allen?
Yes.
And he makes very specific statements about the facts and circumstances of the charges that are pending. Is that correct?
Yes.
How would you begin your sessions to engage Mr. Allen in conversation?
Yeah,
To be helpful?
it's pretty much just I kind of put it on him, so how are you doing? What's?
Okay. And if his behaviors were not acceptable or not in his best interest, you might ask him about those as well?
Yes.
Okay. But was it ever your intention to say, hey, did you commit the crimes that you were charged with, or what happened, or what are the details?
No.
Okay. And so did you avoid that on this particular day as well?
Yes.
One of the things that you also indicated on here was, and I'll paragraphs, in the 5th paragraph of patient complaint, that he shared with you that he took God into his heart on March 21st of 2023?
Yes.
So very recently?
Yes.
Does he relate his new interest in religion to his statements to you about committing the crime as if they are related for him?
I don't think so. Well, the very last line there.
Okay. So he makes reference to the crime and then ties that to his belief in God and what he wants to do with his Bible, does he not?
Yes.
Okay. And taking into consideration that his mental health status has an impact on how the court or the jury may view his statements with regard to voluntariness, you are also making observations or clinical conclusions about different aspects of his mental health, is that right?
Yes.
So on the page 4 of 5, you specifically note anxiety, significant and improved, depression, significant and improved, suicidality, not significant. Patient symptom report as appear questionable. When you say patient symptom reports appear questionable, what does that reference?
So.
Sorry. Where were you referencing on the document?
Oh, it's page 4 of 5.
Under assessment.
Page 4 of 5? Thank you.
Yes.
So that's a checkbox, so I have to reference the body of my note to see why I would check that. It just looks like his affect was all over the place that day, from crying to smiling. He also mentioned memory lapses and already said that he might not remember the following day, as dates. He was tangential and, again, he was just sharing various information with little prompting from me.
But when you add, excuse me, inaudible, apologize, patient symptom report appears questionable, are you questioning
whether it's genuine?
Okay. And you continued to make those observations about him?
Yes.
Throughout April and May, is that correct?
Yes.
And so when he's behaving bizarrely, is that a patient symptom report that?
Yes.
In fact, over. State would move to admit Exhibit 12. State's Exhibit 12 offered.
Any objection?
No.
All right. Without objection, then 12 is admitted. State's Exhibit 12 admitted.
In fact, over the course of this period of time, you make statements that you have concerns that he is feigning symptoms, do you not?
At times, yes.
And in many of those reports, it would say psychotic symptoms unclear or not present, correct?
Yes.
And in reviewing the reports, I found only one that says psychotic symptoms are clear. Does that sound inconsistent with your observations of Mr. Allen?
So I don't know if that would be closer to the date where he received the injection.
It is.
And at that point, we decided that the situational psychosis diagnosis best explained what we were observing.
Okay, we'll come back to that and how it was addressed. Let's talk about a couple more reports. I just want to read you part of one on April 7th at you.
Yes.
Okay. And under the clinical observation that day, you said, Allen appears to be more blatantly feigning symptoms of confusion and memory loss and purposefully behaving in a bizarre manner. Would that be based on his verbalizing a lack of memory and then being oriented to person, place, time, and situation on the same day?
Yes.
Okay. There was some discussion about him being allowed to go to rec, even when he was on suicide watch, and you tried to provide that for him. Is that correct?
Yes.
But there was a specific date, on April 12th, 23, where a note indicates that, despite wanting to give him rec, you then had to withhold it because he was refusing to come in from rec. Do you recall that happening?
I mean, if I wrote that down, that's what happened.
Okay. So his behavior at that point was affecting his restriction, not necessarily that he wasn't being permitted?
Right. I mean, it would give custody a problem. They'd have to do things to get him back in the cell, and nobody wants to go through that, so...
Okay. Now, there were times when you were present for him making statements about his crime, some of which were very specific, and it was not in your out-of-cell cubicle, correct? For example, when Dr. Martin was asking him if he would accept medication.
Right.
Do you recall that?
I'd need more context for that.
Sure.
Encounter.
Show you what's marked as States Exhibit 13.
Okay.
Does that refresh your memory?
Yes.
And so even on that day, you were not certain whether it was psychosis or feigning behavior. Is that correct?
Correct.
State would move to admit Exhibit 13. State's Exhibit 13 offered.
No objection.
All right. Without objection, 13 is admitted. State's Exhibit 13 admitted.
Now, this is around the time that he receives an involuntary injection, correct?
It looks like it. Was that the one that said we were trying to let him know that was gonna happen?
Yes.
Yes.
So you offered him to take the injection. Dr. Martin was there, is that correct?
Yes.
And there would have been some nursing staff in the room?
Yes. I mean, he wouldn't get the injection in his cell, so they would have had to remove him and take him to another area.
Okay. But he was in a situation of being moved by staff being video.
Affirmative response.
Recorded, and he was making statements about his crime, and he was being asked if he wanted medication, which he declined.
Yes.
Okay. And then a meeting occurred, is that correct? For approval of?
Yes.
Involuntary medication?
Yes.
And so the next day, he received that injection?
Most likely the same day or the next day.
Okay. If the record indicates that it was Haldol, are you familiar with that being the course of treatment?
Yeah, that sounds right.
And since you're a psychologist and not a psychiatrist, I don't want to ask you a question outside of your professional expertise, but are you familiar with Haldol being used in a situation such as this where someone is behaving?
Yes, almost always.
Okay. What impact did you observe Haldol having on Mr. Allen?
If I'm remembering correctly, I still don't think he was sleeping very much. Afterwards, I think then he got an extra oral Haldol to take at night.
And did the Haldol have a positive impact or a negative impact on his ability to communicate with you in Session S and work toward better mental health?
There were definitely days where it was not much, the engagement, at all. He may have been over-medicated, but eventually, things got better.
Well, the logs would indicate that he slept for a couple of days, so is that what you mean by over-medicated?
Well, yes and no. I wasn't thinking about the times when he would come in and not have much to say or just not having any interaction.
Okay, so if he declined interaction, you might have thought the tea came from Haldol?
Possibly.
It certainly made him sleep.
Yes.
Would that be fair to say?
Not initially, but yes, later.
Okay. If I indicated to you that the suicide companion logs indicated that he slept quite a lot for the next couple of days, do you have any reason to dispute that?
My only concern would be that Mr. Allen would say that he was just laying.
Okay. With regard to his Medicat ion, is it your understanding that he received Prozac, which was the same medication he was receiving for his depression prior to admission at Westville?
Yes.
And did you see any significant changes in his medication?
With the exception of the additional Haldol at one point, I guess he wasn't sleeping. I don't remember any other changes. I think he just stayed on the Prozac.
And would he refuse medication? Do you have any knowledge of that?
It's possible. I don't recall anything significant where he would just never take it, but there are probably some days here and there where he wouldn't.
Okay. How much interaction did you have with Dr. Martin?
Dr. Martin would come to our site maybe once a week, so I'd see him once a week.
And would you and he consult with one another about Mr. Allen, or was that not necessary?
We did talk about Mr. Allen. Again, Dr. Martin would be with the larger group, as well, and I would attend those MDT meetings.
Okay.
As the prescriber, obviously. I tried to give him updates, too, like especially when Mr. Allen was complaining about his sleep.
Other than Mr. Allen refusing medication sporadically, was there a change in prescribed medication that was intended to induce him to give statements?
I don't think so.
Did you observe Mr. Allen to improve after the Haldol injection started? I know you said that they were weekly, I think you said.
I don't think they were weekly. He did improve and, eventually, he was just taken off the Haldol injection. It was pretty quick.
Okay. So did Mr. Allen had a period of time where he was refusing meals, would you agree? And lost significant weight?
To the best of some of these things I don't remember too much in detail. Yes, but he didn't want to miss more than 4, because then he'd start getting tracked by central office.
Okay. Did you have conversations with him about the reasoning for his missed meals?
Yeah. I want to say it was something about controlling his circumstances and even just losing weight and getting healthier.
And when he came in, I believe he was described as obese, correct?
Yes.
And when he engaged in this practice of fasting or skipping meals, then did you ever see him at a weight that was concerning?
I think he got to a healthy weight, but then during that April time period, he really wasn't eating much. I don't know if they were able to track it. If things were being thrown into the toilet, they wouldn't know one way or the other how much he ate. That's when he lost a lot more weight.
And then he stabilized?
And then he regained the weight.
Okay. In fact, did he seem to be rather pleased with himself that he had?
I don't remember.
Okay. I'll show you States Exhibit 14. It appears to be a report from May 2nd of 23. In your report for May 2nd ND of 2023, Mr. Allen is communicating quite a lot that particular day, is he not?
Yeah, he had a lot to say that day.
In fact, you make reference to writing your report and putting it in categories of concerns or topics he wanted to talk about.
Yes.
And in that particular report, does he talk about why he would not kill himself, but also make reference to committing the murders that he's charged with? Paragraph entitled Death, Suicidality, and Murder?
He's saying that other incarcerated individuals are telling him to kill himself. Is it okay to kill myself? He stated he did not want to die. When asked how he would kill himself, he stated he would climb up on the sink. I killed myself by killing my entire family and best friends. I'm not going to kill myself. I'm too much of a coward.
You also put in there metaphor, like after the phrase.
Because, he didn't kill he didn't literally kill his family and best friends, but yeah.
So you are interpreting that to be a metaphor?
Yes.
You also note, on page 3 of 5, under Additional Clinical Observations, that he does not appear, page 4 of 5, that his anxiety is significant and...
Correct.
I'm going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 15. The state would move to admit Exhibit 14 she previously testified to. State's Exhibit 14 offered.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
All right. Without objection, 14 is admitted. States Exhibit 14 admitted.
Are you familiar with that document?
Yes.
And that is an MDT.
It is.
Report prepared by you, is it not?
It is. And the only thing I want to ask you about this is, on T's particular document that's dated May 2nd ND at 3 p.m., you note psychosis appears to have remitted. Is that accurate? Yes.
That would be a collective conclusion from this meeting?
Yes.
State would move to admit Exhibit 15. State's Exhibit 15 offered.
Any objection?
To 15?
Yes.
You mind if I just take another quick look at that? Just 'cause I don't have a copy?
Yeah, sure.
I kind of just took a brief look.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
All right. Without objection, 15 is admitted. State's Exhibit 15 admitted.
Next, show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 16. Did you have a chance to review that?
Yes.
Okay. And that is for the date of... What date is that report?
May 3rd.
May 3rd, okay. On May 3rd, again you're seeing Mr. Allen in the counselor cubicle, so that's confidential, correct?
Yes.
Okay. A&D on this particular day, Mr. Allen asks FO are your assistants to call his wife. Is that correct?
Yes.
And how did you assist him, if at all?
We were able to obtain a cordless phone, figure out the phone number list, and assist with dialing all the numbers.
Okay. And then, you make reference that he didn't get to talk to his wife, did he? On that particular day?
I guess not. Oh, yeah, she did not answer.
Okay. At this point, and maybe you don't recall, did Mr. Allen not have his tablet?
Right. That would have been the reason why he couldn't reach her on the tablet.
Okay. Because he didn't have one? Because it was broken?
Broken.
Okay. So this is during the waiting period of getting a new one. Is that right?
Yes.
And did you help facilitate him getting a new one with the warden?
I think he got one on the very last day before he went to Wabash, so yeah, it just took a minute.
If reports would indicate he had tablet access even within like a week, do you recall that?
Well, now I don't know what I'm thinking of.
Okay. Is it possible it was broken twice?
I don't know.
Okay.
No.
Okay, we'll move on.
It's possible, but...
On this particular day, you start with, he moves on to telling his story.
Yes.
And again, that was from you taking detailed notes and then putting them into the medical record system. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you ask Mr. Allen to tell you about the allegations?
No.
And I know I only pointed out a couple of times where you told him not to talk about his crime.
Right.
So did you feel like it was clear to him that it wasn't a good idea for him to talk about it?
I think he was aware.
Okay. You indicate in clinical observations that, although he was confused about Easter and whether it had already happened or not, that aside from that, he presented as more organized than he had been since his placement on suicide watch. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
State would move to admit Exhibit 16. State's Exhibit 16 offered.
No objection.
All right. Without objection, 16 is admitted. State's Exhibit 16 admitted.
During this time when he was struggling and confessing, was he also?
He was.
And you had multiple conversations with him about that?
He brought it up a few times.
And you actually referred him to counsel, correct? You said, talk to your attorneys about it?
Right? Yes.
Okay. Did you also document it as a potential secondary gain for which he might be misbehaving or acting up or having psychotic symptoms?
Yeah, that was another thought.
Okay. It's very possible?
Yes.
Just as possible as being psychotic?
Yes.
Show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 17. It's your notes from 5 out of 10 of 23.
We're at 17, right?
Have you had a chance to review that one?
Yes.
Okay. On that particular day, you see him out of cell as well, correct?
Yes.
And the arrangements are made for a cordless phone again?
Yes.
and you assist him with contacting his wife again. Is that right?
Yes.
On this particular day, does he reach her?
Yes.
And do you step out of the room?
Right.
To give him privacy? And upon coming back in, what happens?
He said he wanted to call back to tell his wife he did it, and then he said to me, I want you to hear this, so you can understand.
Okay. Did he proceed to call his wife again?
Yes.
And did he confess to her regarding the crime that he's charged with?
Yes.
And from only seeing one side of the interaction with his wife, did you express an opinion about how she received that information?
I thought she...
Judge, may I ask a preliminary question?
Yes.
Did you talk to his wife?
No.
Okay. Did he tell you what her reaction was to any of this?
He made a statement.
Okay. All right. I'll withdraw.
What was, oh, I'm sorry.
The statement was, she doesn't believe me.
He makes other statements, in addition to that are contained in your...
Yes.
And then, in conclusion, under assessment, you note, psychotic symptoms are not significant, and he's responding to treatment, and he's compliant with treatment. Is that correct, also?
Yes.
State would move to admit Exhibit 17. State's Exhibit 17 offered.
No objection.
All right. Without objection, 17's admitted. State's Exhibit 17 admitted.
I'd like to talk about the potential stressors that relate to the diagnosis, the brief psychotic disorder with related stressors. One of them was the conditions of being confined as a person who has no criminal history, correct?
Correct.
Some others that we discussed in deposition, as I recall, and I guess I'm asking if you recall these as well, so correct me if I'm wrong, is that he was either not communicating with his family or couldn't communicate with them.
Right. So when?
Because he felt they didn't want him to?
Yeah, I think he went back and forth with different reasons, but yeah, the lack of being able to communicate with them consistently.
Did it coincide with him making confessions to the crime and the difficulty that creates?
I don't know.
Okay. Did he also express that he didn't feel like he had enough communication with his attorneys and that was a related stressor?
He had mentioned that.
Did he also express that he couldn't choose God over his family? Do you recall that?
I'm sure he said it, if I wrote it down. I'm not sure how to interpret that one right now.
Okay. I'll ask it another way. Mr. Allen had a period of time where he wanted to confess, and he was confessing to a lot of people, would you agree?
Yes.
Not just you, but to door companions, right?
Yes.
In the presence of Dr. Martin, even though he wasn't asked about his crime?
Yes.
To his wife in your presence?
Yes.
During movement within the jail while being recorded, were you aware of that?
I think so.
Okay. And did he talk with you about how finding God was impacting his dealing with making confessions? Did he talk to you about that?
Finding God was something that seemed to comfort him.
Did he express that he wanted to make things right?
Yes.
And did he say, I want to make things right by being honest?
I don't know. I don't know if he said that.
Did your personal interest in this case from an entertainment standpoint negatively impact the services you provided to Mr. Allen?
I don't believe so.
Did your curiosity about Keegan Kline have a negative impact on the services you provided to Mr. Allen?
No. They're unrelated.
Did you write down confession statements that he didn't say because you had a personal interest in the outcome of this case?
No.
Do you believe that entering your notes into the document management system that's secure is the best way to keep those records safe?
I think so, but I'll look into this.
The conditions of his confinement, except for on constant watch or close watch, did they remain the same outside of those changes with regard to whether he had his own clothing or suicide smock, whether he was on constant versus close?
Yeah, it was all pretty much the same thing. He was gonna live in that location, that wasn't going to change.
Okay.
It was just about, at different points in time, what he was allowed to have in there versus not.
And so once he went through that period of brief psychosis with related stressors, the rest of his time there was very much like the time before.
Yes.
April?
Almost, not quite. I feel like
Okay. How was it different?
there was still some residual symptoms maybe, particularly he mentioned the memory issues, but then there were days where he did seem like more like himself.
Okay. But he also tapered off on participating in sessions with you, did he not?
I believe so. We also expanded the amount of people he could see, so he could see a master's level therapist and a bachelor's level therapist, whether during rounds or, those were usually rounds, but just to have other people to talk to, since we couldn't provide any other outlet in that way.
Okay.
But I'd still check on him.
The social media posts that you made that you were presented with.
Yes.
That was specifically asking you what channels you preferred for watching on YouTube, is that correct?
Yes.
And did you ever post anything about the facts of this case or Mr. Allen?
No.
I'd pass the witness.
Mr. Razi.
You agree you shouldn't have posted at all?
Are you asking?
Yeah. You should not have been posted at all, should you?
No.
And you should have not been following his case for entertainment purposes while you were treating him, should you?
I don't know. I don't think it affects, knowing about a case does not affect how we treat a person.
Okay. But would you do it again? Would you do it the same way?
No, I wouldn't do it the same way.
You're separate your personal stuff from your professional stuff, right?
Yes.
There were some questions early on about you taking notes and how you were memorializing them. Just want to make sure I'm clear about that. Your session notes were destroyed. We've already acknowledged that, right?
Yes.
Those could have been given to internal affairs and secured, right?
I guess. I mean, it's nothing.
That'd be one way. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It could be something we can do. It's never been done.
Do you ever give anything else to internal affairs to secure?
I usually pass along letters, things maybe threatening towards us or other people, but not necessarily notes that we write.
All right. How often do you get log sheets from the warden?
What kind of log sheets?
The door sheets from the guards when the guards filled them out?
They keep those on the pods, so I'd have to actually go there and seek them out myself.
But did the warden ever direct those to you to maintain for him?
No. Us turning in, so if you're talking about the companion sheets.
No, I'm talking about the guard sheets. But I'll ask you about the companion sheets as well.
Okay. So the guard sheets will be, are you asking about things like where they're noting shower, rec, things like that, or are you just, their rounds, when they watch him?
Fair enough. Let me withdraw the question and try to be a little bit clearer. We've all acknowledged here today that there were guards that were filling out, that were assigned to Rick's cell that were completing these log sheets, right?
Yes.
Did you process any of those?
If he was on suicide watch, if it was any of the time periods where he was on suicide watch, those would go to his medical record, so we'd obtain them, put them in his medical record. If they were during a time where he was off suicide watch and was more administratively watched because that's what they wanted, I'd give them to the unit team manager.
So you processed them in both occasions? Well, the first occasion, they went directly to the medical file, right?
Yeah.
But you're saying in the second circumstance, when he was not on suicide watch, they went to the unit team.
The unit team manager, 'cause I recall her having a binder where she was keeping them.
Who's that? Is that Miss Cornett?
Yes.
Do you know what she did with them?
I don't know.
Did the warden himself ever ask you to secure records regarding Rick Allen for him?
No.
Him being the warden.
No.
Okay.
They moved them to medical records.
With respect to exhibit number 9, this is the consent that was signed down at RDC. Are you generally familiar with this document?
Yes.
Okay. Do you agree? I'm sorry, may I approach?
You may.
Do you agree that the scope of the consent that's referenced on this document pertains to basically things that would happen at the prison?
Yes.
Right? Like if he tells you somebody's gonna commit suicide, you gotta.
Right.
Or if he tells you he's gonna commit suicide,
Right.
you gotta disclose it, right?
Yes.
If somebody's dealing drugs, you said this earlier,
Right.
you gotta disclose it. It doesn't say anything about the statute relating to a homicide cases?
No.
If somebody comes to you, a patient comes to you and says, "Hey, I know something about a murder," that's not referenced.
No.
It actually also says that, or it makes the reference here in the middle of the page, that group settings are the best mode of treatment or intervention. Do you see that?
Yes.
That's an accurate statement when it comes to therapy.
We've tried to do a lot of them prison. It's rough though.
Rick Allen never had any group therapy, did he?
It's impossible in the way that he's housed.
Okay. It would be impossible to just take him out of the cell down to a therapeutic environment and let him sit and talk to some humans.
I think it would compromise his safety.
Have you seen all the handcuffs that they put on High-M and shackles?
Other people, if he was just in an open area with other incarcerated individuals.
Are you aware of any threats on his life when he was there?
People shouted whatever they shouted.
Well, the people in confinement next to him, right?
Yes.
Telling him to kill himself?
Yes.
Calling him a baby killer?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware of any reports or anyone threatening his safety?
No.
The last thing I want to note here is where it says, "Progress notes regarding your attendance level, participation, and treatment progress will be entered into your health record." Right?
Yes.
They were actually destroyed, weren't they?
So
The progress notes.
So that just pertains to the notes that we put into the medical records, the electronic.
Well, don't you consider the notes that you're preparing progress notes when you're sitting there in the therapeutic session?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, again, I can look into this.
Well, it's too late, because they're gone, right?
In terms of, do we need to change the process?
Okay.
Because that's not how we're doing it.
Thank you for that. And then, with regard to the questions, there's exhibit number 10. I'm directing your attention to exhibit number 10. You may recall that Ms. Diener asked you about the fact that you instructed him not to talk to others about his case. Do you recall her asking you about that?
Yes.
But you actually talked to him about his case as it relates to what you were learning on social media, didn't you?
I mentioned a couple things, yeah.
So you didn't follow your own instructions, right?
It was helpful information.
You talked Ms. Diener asked you about some of these daily or weekly visits that would occur at his cell block, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about when you do the routine checkups?
Yeah.
Those are like 10 to 15, 20-second visits, aren't they?
Depends on the person.
That would be normal, wouldn't it?
Depends if the person engages with you. Some guys will just say there.
Okay. You've never had. Well, let me ask you this. Are all those people that would visit with Rick the master's level specialists, and are they basically just talking with him through the same crack in the door that you were talking with him through?
Yes.
Okay. Very informal encounters. Agreed?
Yeah.
Ms. Diener asked you about these companions and what information that they were communicating outside of their job responsibilities. Do you understand that? Do you remember that line of questioning?
Can you clarify?
I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Diener, do you recall her asking you some questions about what kind of things these companions were saying out in public?
So.
Do you remember those questions being asked?
Yes.
Okay. You don't know what information they were communicating, do you?
The only thing that I know that came out pretty quickly was somebody made a YouTube video from I guess he had called someone on his phone and he's like, hey, this guy is here, and it went out on YouTube.
They were disseminating this stuff to the whole world, right?
Yes.
And so, ultimately, this was part of the reason, in your opinion, as to why the companions were pulled, right? That's what you told me in the deposition.
Well, I said too that it was when he had the discovery materials. We didn't want people to view those materials.
Right. But it was. You also told me it was the other reason.
Yeah.
'Cause whatever they was communicating wasn't right, right?
Right.
Or it wasn't appropriate is a better way or putting it.
Right.
When someone is confined in solitary confinement, like Mr. Allen is it unusual for inmates in those circumstances to say things to try to get the attention of staff?
It's not unusual.
I mean, that's one of the ways that they get some interaction, right?
Yes.
So you say something crazy, and the staff will give you some attention.
Yes.
Correct? These are all kind of the nuances of living in this restricted environment. Is that accurate?
Yeah, accurate.
Ms. Diener briefly asked you about the circumstances in Wabash Valley with the cage down there. Do you recall that?
I do.
I saw the cage, and it reminded me of the cage in Silence of the Lambs. You know what I'm talking about?
I object, Judge. His reference to his own impression about the cage is not relevant.
Fair.
Sustained.
I'll withdraw the question.
Thank you.
Did that cage remind you of the cage that was in Silence of the Lambs?
I don't remember that movie.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Diener questioned you about this early April. I think she said April 3rd RD's circumstance where Rick got some discovery. Do you recall that?
Yes.
You acknowledge that you told me earlier that he actually was starting to communicate some mental health issues and wasn't feeling right in his head even back into March, right?
It's possible if I wrote that, yes.
That's what he told you, didn't he?
Yes.
Okay. So it was weeks before he got the discovery, right?
Yes.
And you don't know what was in that discovery, do you?
No.
You have no idea what was on those papers, right?
I have no idea.
And he had been communicating with his lawyers for 6 months up to that point, hadn't he?
I guess. I don't know unless he tells.
Are you aware that we visited with him at Westville?
Yes.
Okay. The statements, I'm directing your attention to number 11, Exhibit 11 and 12, and I'll bring them up if you need to, but these reference activities that occurred on April 4th of 2023 between you and Mr. Allen and April 5th, does that sound generally accurate?
Yes.
This would have been during the time period when there was later a determination that he could have been suffering from psychosis, right? And when somebody says brief psychotic episode that's something that can happen on and off over a period of time, right?
It would likely end up being a different diagnosis.
Okay. But can it happen on and off over a period of time?
I would argue that it'd probably be a different diagnosis.
Very good.
Can those types of symptoms occur? Yes. And fluctuate over time? Yes.
You continued to give him Haldol shots all the way into almost June, right?
I'm not sure.
Those are basically tranquilizers, right?
Yes.
That's kind of a street term?
Yes.
And if somebody was just faking something and they were, doing it to get attention, you wouldn't need to tranquilize them to get them to stop, right?
I mean, that's the psychiatrist. Sometimes it does help just calm them down, so it's used, but again, we don't use them very often.
Did you use those on Rick because he was faking this stuff?
At that point in time, he was deteriorating in terms of taking care of himself, he wasn't able to communicate with us, he wasn't sleeping, so it was just interfering with every aspect of his life.
Literally beating his head into the wall time and time again over long periods of time, wasn't he?
Yes.
Running from one end of his cell block and smashing his head into his cell door. Is that what was going on?
I personally didn't observe it.
You heard that, didn't you?
I heard it.
And he had all the physical signs of it, didn't he?
Yes.
His entire face and head was completely bruised, wasn't it?
Yes.
And then he started eating his own feces?
Yes.
That's why you gave him Haldol, isn't it?
Yes.
With regard to this feigning of symptoms, do you acknowledge that that's actually a circumstance which you can test someone for in the course of your psychiatric testing process, right?
You can.
There's actually ways to kind of cross-check whether or not somebody's being authentic or genuine about their behaviors?
Right.
You didn't do any of that in this case, right?
We don't have the materials to do it.
You told me actually, occasionally some interns might bring in some documents.
We don't have any interns.
You don't even have any interns, right? Just crayons and pencils, right?
Yes.
With regard to the Prozac or the Haldol, I'm sorry. He was taking Prozac, right?
Yes.
Are there different, like a generic form of that? Was there different kinds of Prozac's a trade name, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's a trade name, like a company.
It is, yeah.
Was he taking Prozac or was it some other? Do you know?
I don't know.
Like a generic version?
Sometimes they can do both, switch them off. I don't know.
Okay. So does that happen at the prison?
It happens.
Okay. Could it have happened with him?
Could have.
He said he lost weight. What was it, 30 or 40 pounds in a few months?
It was pretty significant.
When you say he was obese, he wasn't obese to the point where he was dysfunctional when he came, right?
No.
I mean, he's a short man, right?
Yes.
And do you acknowledge that? It's just the chart puts him at obese in terms of where his weight was?
Yes.
Did you have any real concerns about his weight when he was admitted to the facility?
No.
And then, with the tablet, you said it took a minute to get him a new one, right?
The way that I remember it.
And when you say, took a minute, that's kind of a casual phrase for it took quite a long time, right?
Probably.
Months? Months?
Could be months.
He talked to you about going to Logansport State Hospital, right?
He did.
Is there anything surprising about somebody trying to or wanting to get out of a situation like that?
To be in a more comfortable situation. I believe he also thought maybe family visits would take place.
He could get closer to the people that he loved?
Yes.
You mentioned that there were residual symptoms that he was experiencing even beyond what I recall was the July or June.
Affirmative response.
All the way into the fall, right? Of 2023.
Yes. It wasn't quite inaudible.
You could, I'm assuming. Is it accurate to say that these residual symptoms are a product of being traumatized at some point, of experiencing trauma?
Could be.